Hey, assholes. Well, I've been having issues. Not really necessarily health related, but yeah, my brain seems to be a little slower than it used to be. I don't know what's going on with that. So I'm talking to a dietitian. I'm hitting the gym a little bit more frequent. Sore as shit, let me tell you. So, like for the longest time, I've been kind of like in a rut. I'm like, how do I improve and change? And I think I just got to keep doing it. And eventually I'll come with the great formula of how to do this properly. But I think calling you assholes is the best way to start. Because, I mean, to be brutally honest, if you're really into comic books these days, chances are you are some sort of asshole. According to most of Twitter, you're far worse than an asshole. But anyways, let's get started. Now, Todd McFarlane is very lucky that I continue going with Spawn for the, what was the series he just released? Uninterrupted Violence or whatever. It was just a big leftard wet dream. Holy crap. I've never thought I'd see a Spawn book using all sorts of like buzzwords. Leftard buzzwords. I couldn't believe it. So I sent an email. Usually what I do is I read half of the... Okay. I get my pull list. It's a lot because I go once a month. And I read all the shitty ones or the ones I think are less interesting first. See if I'm still going to continue. And then I'll periodically look at previews for the next week and then decide, okay, well, drop this one, add this one, drop this one, add this one. I haven't added anything since Marvel had released or is going to release the X-Men 2099 Omnibus. So I'm like, wow, never mind. Nothing else to add except that. So I read, before I even read anything else, I quickly wrote an email to my local comic book shop guy, good old Alex. And I said, yeah, do not put that in my pull list no more. So Todd, you're lucky that I'm fucking still getting Spawn. Spawn is one of the slowest fucking reads ever, but this is starting to pick up. Spawn is now forced to fuck around with the dead zones. And there's a shit going on in hell while Spawn and Haunt are in heaven. There's going on with hell with Sin and these two red dudes. Sorry if I'm not familiar with it. I didn't write any notes. It's a slow burn, and these books, and I get them just because it's cheap. Like it's $2.99 for these books, right? But I like it. I give it I think I gave it 4 stars, both of them, or at least 3.5. It's really coming together now. It took a while. I feel like it was going nowhere. I found the Scorched was the worst of the series. I don't get Scorched anymore. And no, it's not bent at the top if you're like OCD. It's just the plastic. It's not bent. The cardstock, thank you. The cardstock makes it so it doesn't get on my fingers and I have to hold... I almost have to wear fucking latex gloves to read comic books today because the companies are so cheap. Whenever my LCS is like, hey, do you want the pay $1 more for the cardstock? Yes. If ever that's an option, always go with that, please. Fuck. So, anyways, 340 and 341. Since they're like, I like this cover though. My kids didn't like it, but I liked it. It's continuing the saga. It feels like a supernatural TV show. I think the only issue I have with Spawn is that Al Simmons is an idiot and he hasn't woken up and started to do better. Like his character has yet to evolve all that much. You know, it's like he's still making the same stupid mistakes, and I don't know if they're doing that on purpose so they don't have to they don't have to worry about trying to write something new or interesting. It's kind of like when they don't kill the bad guys and they could just reuse them later on. I hate that, and that's what takes me out of North American comic books is is the fact that that's what happens. Nobody fucking dies. There's no permanent change. There's no drastic thing, except for what's going on with Spider-Man right now. But killing Miss Marvel, nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. You know who cares? 8 people on Twitter with 50 accounts each. That's it. That's the only people that care. Everyone else is like, yeah, so how dare you say the only offensive thing is they said this was gonna be as impactful as the death of Gwen Stacy, and I'm like, no. Killing Jameson would have been more impactful than killing Ms. Marvel. Anyways, so these were good. I like the story arc that's going. I like that Spawn is really trying to help Haunt because he made it seem like he didn't even give a shit. And I'm like, no, Spawn, you need friends. This is a war you ain't gonna win on your own. You're gonna need pals. And Haunt always seemed to me like Venom Spider-Man. Yeah. Anyways, this was actually really good. I would suggest that if like I don't know what to read, go with that. This is the Black Label. If you notice and you wonder why I put out a record, for those of you who are old enough to know what a record is, you notice that this is a different size. I believe this is the European format for comic books. Now, I've been wanting to change LCS because driving downtown and finding parking is so irritating, especially in the wintertime. And I'd rather not pay $15 shipping each time, once a month. You know? Girlfriend, why is it so expensive? I'm like, fucking shipping, man. Like, it's $15 I'm not spending inside the store. I'm spending it on shipping. Right? And I'm like, all right, well, the local one here, it's a big franchise, Imaginaire. Yeah, it's Quebec. It's got to have a French name, sadly. Right? It's the law for now. And they're a big-ass franchise. The store is huge. I remember when they were building it at the Promenade, which is the local mall. It's a big-ass mall. And not as big as the one in Edmonton with the roller coaster and the water park inside, but, you know, it's a regular inside mall. Not like the Discount where it's a mall city. And it's exactly that. It's a city, but instead of houses, it's malls. It's stores. They're not really connected. Okay, so it makes shopping very difficult, though. Like, there's a lot of driving. Anyways, first and foremost, yes, this is good. Do you need to get it? No. It's a nice distraction. It's got with Wildstorm characters in it. It's got this dude. Look, shoot me in the face, fine. But, like, my knowledge of DC characters is limited on account of I only just started getting back into comics in 2019. And DC was not on the list of things I was getting. And with the kind of stories that they're writing, can you really blame me? So I do have older cool stories like Crisis on Infinite Earths, Infinity Crisis, Kingdom Come, and a lot of other ones. I haven't read them all. I've read Crisis, of course, but I'll get to know them all. But this dude is hella cool, and he has an interview the entire time with Lois Lane, and he's trying to get this story out because he thinks Amanda Waller is bullshit. And, like, if you've seen The Flash, you know Amanda Waller is bullshit. Or was she more an Arrow? Oh, she was probably more an Arrow, I think. Yeah, more an Arrow. Anyways, doesn't matter. If you've seen the Arrowverse, you know Amanda Waller is shit. If you read the comic books, you know Amanda Waller is shit. I have the War on Earth 3, and that was awesome. So whenever I see Amanda Waller, I'm always like, oh, it's going to be good. But with the TV show now, or whatever is going on, wherever she is, I think she's played, or in the movie, she's played by Annalise from How to Get Away with Murder. Sorry if I don't know her name. I don't. That was an awful show to watch. Very left-tardy. Like the gay couple was just like so forced. Anyways, yeah, this is good. I can't wait to get to the second one. Black Label is essentially supposed to be like Marvel Knights or the Max series. It is. There's fuck written in there. I was like, oh my god, the F word. Shit. But as far as action-packed, it's not. It's more like world building, and we'll see where it goes. Next, now I got this and I was like, oh, do I really want it? And the cover does not sell this book, let me tell you. If I saw this cover, I'd be like, eh, eh. And look at this bullshit. In this issue, Marvel's mightiest creators join the symbiote hive for 3 thrilling tales. Okay, so in your head, quickly think of the most amazing content creators right now. Yeah, I know, right? Now, if you're saying Teeny Howard and Vita Ayala and Kelly Sue DeConnick, I'm very sorry, but you don't like comic books. You like that slice of life shit, and you like to believe that when gay kids come out to their parents, they're beaten. You're not with the times. You're somewhere mentally back 40 years. Now, yeah, okay. Ryan North is not someone I would consider top notch. And I can't remember the other ones. But I mean, Al Ewing and Ram V, or Ram 5, or Ram the 5th, however you want to say his name. To me, they're interchangeable. Donny Cates is on hiatus due to mental health issues. Gary Duggan, exactly who? There's a Diodato, yeah, I guess. And there's who the fuck is the one? Is it Gary Duggan that's taken over the Punisher and made it really lame and shitty? Yeah, maybe. And then there's Rainbow Rowell. Ugh. AIDS. Anyways, Ryan North and 2 other people are in this thing. The other 2 stories don't really matter. The first one is the most interesting story. The most interesting thing about this, and it made me never think of something that would ever happen. Ever. And I don't even think it actually makes sense that it happens. But it starts off with the classic moment in Peter Parker's life where he's at the cathedral and he's hitting the bells trying to get the symbiote off him. And he says, even though this thing would scramble my brains, I don't care. It's better than whatever, not being able to control my body. And he keeps hitting the bell, and he's having like last minute effort thoughts of all the people in his life. And sure enough, Peter Parker dies. The act of Peter Parker killing himself rather than being with the symbiote just because the symbiote gave in to temptation one time, made one stupid mistake, it felt so guilty. And when it started to fuse with Eddie Brock, their guilt together formed like this incredible guilty character where instead of we are Venom, he's carrying on the legacy of Spider-Man. He says, we are Spider-Man. And then there's a scene where he's fighting Doc Ock, and then Doc Ock finds out that the sound is what hurts Spider-Man. And he's like, you're just a man. And then Eddie Brock leans over, grabs a brick, and chucks it at Doc Ock's head. Patow! He got him right in the fucking head. It was awesome, and there was blood. It was great. Ryan North, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck, that was amazing. God, I was impressed. I can't wait for number 2. And at the end of each story, it looks like one of the Venoms from that other universe where Eddie was before King in Black are coming to enlist people, including Dylan, who is having a hard time controlling his spiel stuff stick, whatever. It's interesting, but the first story is where it's at. Everything else is meh. These legacy story things, I'm not a big fan of. Next up, because I was on a symbiote high, Venom 19. What does it say? This issue, new symbiote enters the fray after a brutal battle with Gold Goblin. So, I don't know what's going on with Dylan. This is Al Ewing. Yeah. Hey, look. Roger Antonio's back. I didn't hate his art on She-Hulk. I just hated the She-Hulk story. It was awful. His art of She-Hulk was pretty good. But She-Hulk is stupid. It's a fucking dumbass book. It goes nowhere. Rainbow should be ashamed of herself. Anyways, this one, it's like Dylan is the good son. That's how I felt the entire time reading this book. Dylan Brock is like the good son. If you've seen that movie with Macaulay Culkin and the guy who plays Frodo, his name escapes me. You're screaming it right now, but I don't know. I can't hear you because this is a recording, so stop screaming. Anyways, Macaulay Culkin's this like piece of shit kid, right? Evil as fuck, but like he's like the parents seem to like him because he's polite and shit. He's like two-faced. That's exactly what this is. It's dinner between the good son and a serial killer, and he keeps poking jabs on why Norman Osborn is feeling guilty, or he keeps throwing shit at him. Oh yeah, why is that? Huh? And then you see the interior monologue between the two of them. Then finally, they put on the radio, and sure enough, they're explaining a situation that's going on right now. And Norman excuses himself from dinner, and then Dylan's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna leave too." And apparently, Normie Osborn has shit. Is it Norman or is it Harry Osborn? Fuck, I don't remember. Whoever the Gold Goblin is, Normie calls him Grandpa. Or Pop. So that's like a way of saying grandpa. Was it Norman or Harry? I remember seeing Harry. Yeah, anyways. It's an Oscorp, trying to not be the Green Goblin. God, this doesn't help at all. I'll have to reread it. And I'll put it in the text at this point once I reread it. And we'll see. Haha, that's who it is. Ah, look at that. Oh. Whew, yeah, I knew it. I could just open this thing up right now, but I can't hold the camera and do that. So yeah, Normie's symbiote apparently has a Carnage version or a red one, and it's under his bed. And Dylan's kind of a bully. He's kind of a piece of shit. I don't know what's going on. That's not how Diane Cates was writing him. I thought he was writing him as an angsty teenager who's going through some shit. Now he's acting like a child. Like, I get a perspective on their fucking age here. What the hell is going on? He's in high school, but he looks like a child in this one. I don't get it. Anyway, so he goes and beats the shit out of the goblin after the goblin takes out a bad guy, the Slide, who's using social media as a thing. I'm like, this is actually clever. I actually enjoyed that part of the story. A bad guy who's like on TikTok. I'm like, oh, that's good. Because most of the people on TikTok are bad guys. So it works out. And after the Gold Goblin takes care of that, this Venom, which we'll call, I don't know, because it's the original Venom suit, but it's not Eddie Brock. So I don't know, fake Venom, Venomless, less Venom, Venom -1. No, it's too hard to say. It's too long. It's a mouthful. Anyways, not Venom. Starts to kick the crap out of the Gold Goblin. And like with ease. With ease. I've never seen Venom take out anybody with ease. But apparently he did that. Took this motherfucker out with ease. And he propped him up and he's about to kill him. And then Dylan finally is like, no, Venom, we don't kill. And Venom should know better. You know, all the years being stuck to A. Brock, you should know that like humans have a hard time just taking a life. Especially if they're in a comic book. You should talk to Deadpool about that. And then because of their fight, it bent the wall bent a bracket, and the bracket bent something, and then this red thing comes out. We have no idea what the fuck it is. It looks like the guy from Bad Blood that Deadpool's fighting. I don't remember his name. We'll find out sooner or later who it is, but apparently it's another symbiote. Yeah, just a bunch of them that just never made an appearance before, and all of a sudden... Alright, this one. Wildcats number 6. Gotta love this cover, though. It's very nice. I like the sexy girl covers that they've had, and I think I told my LCS guy to make sure it's the sexy girl covers. I'm also getting Gun Honey, the new one, Heat Seeker, and I'm like, yes, please make it the $10 porno covers. How do you ask somebody that you want the X-rated, the nude covers without feeling like such a perv? But they're making it, so I want it. So if ever my kids get their hands on it, There's nudity inside, so they got an idea what's coming. And just hopefully they don't get the page all stuck and sticky. Kids, right? When they discover that shit. It's like porno mags, but they're going to have to really find it. I know that my kid is older. He's going to seek out Gun Honey first because I don't shut up about it. But anyways, Wildcats. Now, a lot of people shit on Rosenberg. Again, I only restarted in 2019. I don't know any of his work. My introduction to Rosenberg was when he wrote in Batman Urban Legends, the, what do you call it? He wrote a story of Wildcats, or basically it was just Grifter. And it was funny. I laughed. I don't laugh when I read comic books, ever. But this dude, he wrote a note to the bad guy that he took stuff from. The note said, "I took your $200 and your gun, and I returned your gun. Hugs and kisses, Superman." I fucking laughed. That's hilarious stuff. I'm like, that's good. This guy's like Deadpool if he was written properly. And essentially that's what Grifter really is, right? No, he's Batman Deadpool without the fourth wall breaking. Anyways, the story thus far is that apparently all the Wildcats are meeting for the very first time, some of them. And, at least Spartan is meeting for the first time. They changed him. They changed another person. A lot of people are mad that they changed one of them to a girl now. But I'm like, it's really not that bad. But yeah, you can see that there's a little left tardiness in it. Like a very little. That's why it doesn't get like a full 4. I think I gave this a 3.5. But it does Wildcats better than Jim Lee did back in the day. I know I have them. I have 1 to 4 and then 0. So 0 to 4, I guess. And 0 wasn't done by Jim Lee. But, you know, this is pretty good. Like, considering what's out there right now, you're going to be okay with Wildcats. Trust me, it does the trick. This one, if you've been reading, the last issue they realized that Cole that was dead wasn't really, that's Grifter, his body. It was a body from another universe. And then we see in this issue, Cole's back. And we're like, oh shit, yeah, we knew he was back. And then we're going to fucking kill Cole. Like, they're going to kill any other person in Wildcats so that nobody would give a shit. But Cole, you can't kill him. And he's not the leader, he's just the most interesting character there. They're making Spartan look kind of cool, and there's this real cool twist at the end that they're going to explain in the next one, which I have. And I can't wait to do it. Like, I'm looking forward to reading the next book. This is going to move up a bit in my, probably going to keep, because I like to read the shitty ones first. Flash and Nightwing used to be at the top. Like, I would read those first. And Nightwing deserved to be there, but Flash, no. Flash is great. Jeremy Adams is fantastic. Matthew Rosenberg is probably as best with this one. So, anyways, we're going to stop that for now. I have to read the rest of them, but this is what I got for these first few books. I hope the rest are much better.